So sings my soul, praise my God of love and life. So sings my soul, rejoice.
It's not that unusual when everything is beautiful. It's just another ordinary miracle today. The sky knows when it's time to snow. Don't need to teach a seed to grow. It's just another ordinary miracle today. Life is like a gift, they say, wrapped up for you every day. Open up and find a way to give some of your own. Isn't it remarkable? Like every time a raindrop falls, it's just another ordinary miracle today. The birds in winter have their fling, but always make it home by spring. It's just another ordinary miracle today. When It seems so exceptional that things work out after all. It's just another ordinary miracle today. The sun comes out and shines so bright and disappears again at night. It's just another ordinary miracle today. It's just another ordinary miracle today.
Jennifer Wallace. You know, good morning, everyone. If you listen to Jennifer, you have a whole lesson, spiritual lesson in her songs. I was just looking at the words here, and every line has something special. But which one was I looking at here? It says, when you wake up every day, please don't throw your dreams away. Hold them close to your heart, because we are all a part of the ordinary miracle. The ordinary miracle is extraordinary, is it not? You don't sound very convinced. Huh?
Yes.
Aren't you extraordinary?
Yes.
God does not do ordinary. So just I want you to know. Good morning, everyone. This is a wonderful day, and I want to welcome all those who are live streaming with us today. This is really good because they get to meet the maestro on keyboard, Rob Warshna, the maestro on bass, Sam Montooth, and the maestro on drum, David Anderson. And of course up there is Pat Gentry and Denario and I don't know. I know the voice of God would speak for himself. You know, I can always forget his name because I will be instantly reminded. But one of the most beautiful soul that is in the room right now that has moved into that realm of being the Reverend is who? Can you guess who it is? Nobody can guess? Don Rent. Stand up, Dan. Let people, Reverend Dan, stand up, let people see you. And we are so proud of this man. He came here some long time ago from Agape, and he has always been with us and has always been faithful to his church and doing great things. And yeah, we expected wonderful things of him, and he has not disappointed. He has not disappointed. So welcome. Glad you're here with us. Okay, so this is our time to, if we feel really good about it, only if you feel really good about it, we want you to stand and sing. And if you can't stand, sit and sing. We'll accept that too. Jennifer?
So please join us in the congregational song, and the text is in your bulletin.
Take courage, my soul, and let us journey on. Though the night is dark, and I am far from home, thanks be to God, the morning light appears. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. Hallelujah. 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 The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. Hallelujah.
Wow, Jennifer and the rest of you are in good voice. Give yourself a hand. I love it. Don't you feel energized now? And guess why you feel energized? Because Reverend Dan is coming to share some things with you.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Founders. We are here in the spiritual and geographic heart of the City of Angels. Happy to be with you this morning and with you who are watching this live or via recording. You're just as much here with us. Blessings to all. It is very important to know that this is a church of prayer and healing, and as such, we have prayer requests. You may fill out a prayer request and put it in the prayer box that is out in the foyer. You may call our prayer message line. You may email our practitioner corps, and we will pray over your prayer requests for 30 days. Emma, would you be willing to pray for anybody after service? Emma will meet you right here down by the organ if you need a quick after service prayer. And just know that we hold all of you in light, and we are knowing the truth about you right here and right now. So we are happy to announce that on Wednesday evenings, the Mystic Circle with Dr. Arthur is back on Zoom. And Dr. Arthur's topic this coming Wednesday will be building confidence in yourself and in God. So if you're not already on the weekly Zoom invitation list, please leave your email with an usher or call the office during the week, and we'll make sure that you are on it. We have lots of upcoming classes for which to expand your consciousness, perhaps work your way towards becoming a licensed practitioner. For example, we have The Essential Earnest, taught by the amazing Pat Gentry, who I believe is up in the booth. Pat Gentry is amazing. Ernest Holmes is the founder of this teaching, if you are not aware of who we mean by Ernest and why he is so essential, but please sign up for that class. I'll be teaching a class called Building a Consciousness of Healing. I'm really excited about this. You are welcome. That will be starting on Tuesday, October 3rd. And then the amazing Alvin Turner will be teaching practitioner studies. So that will be on Thursday, September 21st. Alvin is in the lobby if you want to talk to him about that. On Thursday nights, I have Thursday Night Live, which is a discussion group, talk and discussion group. I pick a topic on the science of mind and spirit that you can practically apply to your life. And we hope to see you there. Then on the third Sunday of every month, I lead a visioning meditation for your life. And next week after service, I will be hosting after service in Armor Lounge, a visioning for founders. So let's all come together in prayer, meditation, study, and fun, and fellowship, and life. And speaking of fun and fellowship, please join us down in Hornaday Hall after service. You know, we get together for service, and then we get together and bond and get to know each other and celebrate and enjoy together. Are there any first-time visitors? Okay, so we are all family here. On Sunday, October 15th, after church, we'll have a plant sale in the Rose Garden, which is a fundraiser for founders. You're invited to bring plants to sell and also add to your own collection to purchase plants. If you need containers for bringing plants, there are some available today in the Rose Garden. Please help yourself. Now, visitors, if you are shy, you can pick up a visitor's packet in the foyer. Please stop by the bookstore and pick up your complimentary copy of The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity by Reverend Catherine Ponder. This classic book was one of the first books I ever read on prosperity, and it is fantastic. So I hope if you have not read it, you will take this opportunity to do so. And if everyone could now please stand and greet each other. Awesome. Please remain standing. And we are going to do the affirmation on the front of your bulletin. So please join along with me. Today, I let go of my fears and boldly go toward the life I wish to live. And so it is.
I think we must have misspelled your name, or else you would have recognized it.
Well, let's see. Good morning, everybody. I see here that I have been selected. This is a surprise to speak on creating a legacy. Okay. This will be cute because this probably came about because I was at a meeting and I was saying all of this stuff and proposing all of this stuff, and he said, you gotta talk about this. And I'm saying, I don't want to talk about it. You know, they have a saying, if you want to be seen, stand up. If you want to be heard, speak up. If you want to be appreciated, shut up. So it won't be long before I'll be shutting up. But in terms of creating a legacy, what I was speaking of was something that I wanted everyone to do, something that we do here at Founders, something we do in terms of every day. It is a center of positive spirituality. Every day we ought to do that, huh? We just had a song like that Jennifer sang, and we should be doing that every day. When I read this, I went out to the hallway and I looked and I saw the names of people many of us remember, many of us will never forget, but they made their legacies every time we saw them, every time they came to worship with us. They made their legacies, well, a lot of them, but just by tithing. Take the first 10%. That's not much, but a lot of us don't even do half of that. I really think that we have to remember that the first, whatever it is, should go towards giving, towards sharing, and towards loving and living. And I think a lot of those folks whose names are out there in the hallway did that. A lot of us need to do it more. So part of our legacy, and legacy is something that, you know, a lot of sports figures are legacies, you know. A lot of artists are legacies. Matter of fact, this great building is a work of art. This building is dedicated to art. They have a saying about STEAM. Some of it say STEM. I say STEAM. It stands for science, technology, electronics. I put in the A, most of us do, for art, and then mathematics. This beautiful edifice houses wonderful places for art. I remember coming up out of high school. One time they had a thing where they did around Christmas time. They had camels coming out of here. I said, wow. It was something else. We're going to have a presentation of children's theater. This can house quite a bit of wonderful things. We have wonderful artists here. We have to work with our esteem. We have to work with our giving. We have to work with our sharing. We have to work with our love and continue, I think, anyway, with all of these things that will make founders a great legacy. That's it, folks. You can appreciate me now because I'm shutting up.
Give him a hand. Yes, that's our Chief Financial Officer on the board, so he's speaking with a sense of authority and commitment to his church. Thank you so much, Dr. Doug. Thank you so much. And now we have that inimitable Michael Paul Smith, a bass baritone voice like you have never heard in your life. Michael Paul Smith.
Thank you. So good to be here, see everyone. What a joy. We got some good weather back in town again, so that's always nice. Why should I feel discouraged? Why should the shadows come? Why should my heart feel lonely and long for heaven and home? When spirit is my portion, no greater friend is he, for his eyes on the sparrow, and I know he watches me, for his eyes on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. For I sing because I'm happy, and I sing because I'm free, for his eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. Let not your heart be troubled. His tender words I hear, and resting on his goodness, I lose all doubts and fears. Though by the path he leadeth me, just one step I may see, for his eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me, for his eyes on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. For I sing because I'm happy, and I sing because I'm free, eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. For I sing because I'm happy, and I sing because I'm free. For his eyes on the sparrow, and I know, yes, I know, and I know he watches over. He watches over me. Thank you. Thank you.
Wow. Michael W. Smith. Michael Paul Smith. Sorry. Wow. Wow. I feel watched over, don't you? Our first reading is from the book of Genesis. But Lot's wife looked back, and she became a pillar of salt. Our Science of Mind reading. Never limit your view of life by any past experience. The possibility of life is inherent within the capacity to imagine what life is, backed by the power to produce this imagery, or divine imagination. It's not a question of failing or succeeding. It is simply a question of sticking to an idea until it becomes a tangible reality. Would you all please join me in the Lord's Prayer? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever.
I've got peace like a river in my soul.
And what I know right here and now is that this service here today is a perfect, whole, and complete idea in the mind of spirit. And it is moving through each and every one of us as we come here to give the gifts we are here to give, to receive what we are here to receive, to have healed what we are here to have healed. And that Reverend Dr. Arthur is an open channel to speak directly from Spirit, the Spirit within. And our ears are open. Our hearts are open. Today is a blessed and holy day. And we give thanks for founders, for our ever growth and expansion. And we allow this wonderful day to expand evermore. And we allow it to be. And so it is.
Shall unclasp and set me free.
this next song. I really love it. It really reminds me how life changes everything. We evolve, we grow, we get older, but life is still beautiful. And we have to learn to see the beauty, whatever the stage we're in is. And this song reminds me of it, and I'm going to try to fill the world. If nothing else, I'm going to try to fill the world with my love. In the morning of my life, I shall look to the sun shine. At a moment in my life when the world is new, and the blessing I shall ask is that God will grant me to be brave and strong and true, and to fill this world with love my whole life through. And to fill this world with love, and to fill this world with love, and to fill this world with love my whole life through. In the noontime of my life, I shall look to the sunshine. At a moment in my life when the sky is blue, and the question I shall ask still remains unchanging. To be brave and strong and true, and to fill this world with love my whole life through. And to fill the world with love, and to fill the world with love. Can you feel the world with your love, your whole life through? In the evening of my life, I shall look to the sunset. At a moment in my life when the night is due, and the question I shall ask only I can answer. Was I brave and strong and true? And did I fill this world with love my whole life through? Did I fill the world with love? Did I fill the world with love? Did I fill the world with love? My whole life through.
You can stand up, you know. It was that good. You can stand up. Let him see it. Yes. Yeah. You got the art and spirituality right here in the wonderful, marvelous Michael Paul Smith and the Founders Band. He just filled your heart with love the whole morning through with that singing. And good morning, Founders. I am feeling it. I am feeling filled with love, not only for this morning, but for the rest of my life through. And this morning I want to share with you a topic I call Let Go of What's Holding You Back. And just to put you in the framework of the month, because I do put these subjects in the month under a theme, and the theme is Your Future is Open. Your future is open, which is to say, life is constantly going forward. And in that forward motion, you have the power to decide how it is going to unfold for you. And when you believe in that power, you feel something different from when you don't believe in that power. And it will make all the difference in the world. And so last week, we talked about principles for better living. And one of the things I want to emphasize about principles is that as we come out of the idea of being a little tiny person that needs to be taken care of by our parents, and the allegiance is to our parents, we must obey them. Life reminds us that it's not trying to grow us up to be obedient children, neither for God nor for our parents. And we get to that critical point where we change from parent to principal, where we begin to understand ourselves what this life is about. And we begin to learn some of those principles from our parents, because you're being kicked out of the nest, not because you have done something bad, not because you have disobeyed the parents, as Genesis seemed to imply, but really didn't mean to imply, but because you have come to the age of young adulthood and you're ready to move forward. And so what seemed to be disobedience and confusion is you're beginning to feel the power of your own wings to make decisions and to go forward in this life. But you're not going to get very far unless under your wings there's the buoyant wind of principle. Because now you're not depending on your parents. You're out there by yourself. What are going to be my guidelines to know what to do, when to do it, where to do it, and how to do it? Principles. So to become a self-responsible person, you're shifting from being reliant on a person, which is your parent, to being self-directed by principles, which is the way the universe itself works. And so that was the first week I spoke. I didn't speak on the very first Sunday. And then I spoke on making a better future now, and the idea is you can include certain thoughts in how you make your future. And the universe, despite the fact that it has its own intention and is going on whether you want to go along or not, it is made in such a way that you can use the same principles that allows it to be changing in every moment to direct your own creative outcome in this world, your own life. And today now we're dealing with the fact that we need to let go of what's holding us back. And I want to come to the scripture first. Because it's easy to look at the Genesis story of Lot's wife and blame her. Oh, that woman had to look back and therefore, God zapped her. No, God didn't zap her. And it's not just a question of looking back. It's far more complicated than that. It's how you look back. It's how you look back and you are stuck in what has already gone and you're no longer fit for what is there to come. And so there are different thoughts about Lot's wife looking back. One thought is that she is a mother and is looking back at her children who will be destroyed in the fire of Sodom and Gomorrah. Another part of it that is more important to me is that these are indicators of what is happening in mind. People who have had a bad experience and cannot get over it. And it's that kind of looking back. Your inability to let go of some horrific something that may have happened, or several, that you keep playing on over and over and over again, and so your present become an overture of what had already happened that is negative when the future is open. And you could have made a new decision to go forward. And so that brings me to Ernest Holmes' reading, where he says, never view your life experience by any past, never view your life by any past experience. And you have to be careful how you do that. This is not a statement and say you should not reflect on your life experience, because if that's what he's saying, that doesn't give us wisdom. You have to reflect on your life experience, but you need to come to a resolution of what you have learned from the experience, even if it's bad, and say, this is the principle I've learned. And what you do is you forgive the hurt by feeling the love, and you go forward by the principle, which is the wisdom you have taken from the experience. And so I'm not thinking that Ernest Holmes is saying something contrary to what I'm saying to you. So he says that the possibility of life is inherent in the capacity to imagine what life is. And this is where he and I are coming to a point of agreement totally, is that you can imagine. You have what is called the divine imagination. The divine imagination is for transformation. And you shouldn't think of this as being worse or better than anyone else. Everyone has it. But it is to the extent that we use it that it makes the difference. And when do you need to use it? All the time, but particularly when you are feeling stuck. And we're going to deal with some of the ideas in which you can be stuck. And so the idea is that the possibility of life is inherent within the capacity to imagine what life is, backed by the power to produce this imagery or divine imagination. It is not a question of failing or succeeding. And so life will have failing and succeeding as it moves along. That's the nature of life. Why? Because we don't know everything about where we want to go. And so part of it is by experience. We're experiencing, we're experimenting, and some of the experiment will be wrong. And that's all right. We are a learning being. And so to be wrong is fine. To make a mistake is fine. The Bible called making a mistake sin. That's what the Bible called making a mistake. And that tends to make people think that somehow making a mistake is the most awful thing. And as a result of that, they refuse to do what is challenging for them because they don't want to make a mistake. The people who succeed at this life are the people who get to a point where they know about it's not a matter of succeeding and failing. It's a matter that this is my intention. This is my vision of what I want to do. And there is a part for me to play in the outcome. And so I say to you, as I've said to you before, that God does not give you a purpose. God gives you an aim. Why does not God give you a purpose, as I've said many times before? Because your life would be predetermined, and you would not be free if God already determined what your purpose is going to be. But what God has given you is the freedom, and this is the process, science of mind part of my sharing with you. That in process theology, we look at the fact that what we have from God is the freedom. And I brought you back into the story of Eden, that when it seems like you're being expelled from Eden, it's not an expulsion, it's a graduation. It's the parental consciousness, which we call God in the myth, because your parents are like God. When they are taking care of you as a baby, you better do what I say and don't argue back. You know all of that. But how are you going to learn how to be an adult if you only do what your parents say? They're not going to live forever. They're not going to be with you forever. When you eat the fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, it means now you have judgment. You're learning principle. That's what that means. You couldn't do it before because you weren't at the age to do it. And so it comes at puberty. And prior to puberty, you weren't at the age to take up the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, to have judgment, of choice, of the realization that I am responsible for what I do, and there are consequences for what I do. And so now you're ready. And so the archangel with flaming sword is saying, you're not going to be a child anymore. You're out in the world, free to determine what your future needs to be. And once you get that, you realize that God is offering you all this time, in a different way, options as to what you can choose. But it's your choosing. You're the one choosing. I want to be this. I want to be that. God never built a motor car or a building like this. God never built a plane or a ship. Humans do that. Why? Because we have divine imagination. And so the universe is changing in every moment. And the physicists tell us it actually comes into being and perishes in each moment. But don't worry about that. Just think about it as changing in every moment. And this changing is not simply a change, it's an evolution. It's a creative advancement of novelty. Your life is experiencing novelty. And so when you come to that being stuck in the world, feeling that I can't do something, you can remember Jesus' voice through the gospel. That if you have the faith as small as the mustard seed, and you say to that mountain, be you removed, and do not doubt it will be cast into the sea. And all this is the internal realm of life that Jesus is addressing, the spiritual realm, the mental realm, the psychological realm, the block that you have in your mind about why you can't do something. And we are so literal. We look out there and say, but I never see anybody make that hill move out there. Of course you didn't. It's not going to move either, even if you pray about it, because it's not what he's referring to. The scriptures are referring to the internal spiritual realm where you truly live. That is what is blocking you. It's not the things you say that are blocking you. It's your belief in the things that you say are blocking you. That is blocking you. And once you begin to understand that, you'll begin to let go. So, humans have this transformative power. And our fear of failure is one of the things that can hold us back, that brings about uncertainty. And fear does not have to be a negative thing. Initially, fear wasn't necessarily negative. Fear was an early warning to you that there are threats or dangers around. Think about human evolution, how dangerous the world was. You're somebody's food, some animal's food, if you do not know how to get away in time. And in time, because you are so powerfully built in mind, you have overcome most of those difficulties. But the built-in system still reacts as the fight and flight response. So fear tells you that you need to be prepared to either run, get away, or fight your way out. But we mostly don't need that in today's world. And because it still gets triggered over trivial things, we get high blood pressure. And we get problems, psychological problems. And it builds up when it doesn't need to build up at all. So you need to understand that your reason for prayer and affirmations are ways in which you bring about the medication that is needed to heal what is wrong with you when you develop these kind of fear. Some people live without intention. They don't know where they're going. And as I have shared with you that little story from Alice in Wonderland, you know, Alice wants to know where it is, and the Cheshire Cat wants to know where you're going, and Alice says she doesn't know, and then the Cheshire Cat says, then it doesn't matter which way you go. And this is what happens to us. We don't have an intention, we don't know where we're going, and we're wondering why good things are not happening to us in life. Why? The universe needs something to respond to. That's the law of mind in action working for you. And if you don't set the intention, if you're waiting around for God to give you a reason for living, what you need to do is for God to give you an inspiration of all the things you can do, but you're the one who must make the choice. God doesn't tell people they need to be an engineer or a doctor or this or that. We decide that. And then we ask for God's guidance, which is to say, we are asking that God put these options and we are responsive to them. This is what that is saying. Not that God is actually forcing you to go this way, forcing. That is why you see people can do bad things in the world. Hitler can kill off the Jews. Why? Why doesn't God protect them? Because God has given us freedom. And we're the ones who must take the responsibility for that freedom. People are enslaved by other people. Why? Because God has given us freedom. And so the people who are enslaved have to bring about a power for freedom and not accept that enslavement. And so that's why the world is the way it is. But fundamentally, individually, you can go from where you are to where you wish to be. So you must have intention. And you must understand that a bad experience can be a vehicle to a good place. A bad experience can be a vehicle to a good place. Just because you have a bad experience, you don't have to stay in that bad place. When it makes you understand more about yourself and say, no, I'm not going to accept that, then you start making a whole different strategy as to how you're going to go from where you are to where you wish to be. And you're being inspired by divine imagination, which is your freedom to use or not, to be or not to be. That is the proverbial question. Hamlet asked it, and now you have to ask it. And you have to decide what is right for you and take the plunge. And what about short-term thinking? Some people, can get confused with this, live in the present moment, which is have as much fun as you want right now because you don't know you're going to live till tomorrow. And so you spend off all your money. You didn't invest anything for the future. You didn't think about, gee, is this a good strategy for my living? Am I really tracking along where I want to go? And because you never did it, Dr. Doug says, look at your legacy. You don't know when you're going to go. And you don't have to make it think that you're going to go to today. You could. But most often you haven't, have you? Has anybody gone today yet? Are you all still here? Oh, yes. So the idea is to realize time is a gift. Don't waste your time with the sense of false urgency about, let me do it all now because I don't know that tomorrow will ever come. Okay, you can get into all these kind of theological and philosophical arguments that there's no tomorrow and this and that. There will be a tomorrow when tomorrow becomes a today. And so you need to plan. You need to stop being short-term and think that, gee, let me do all the fun things. Right? Life is work. If you have a dream that you want, life is work. But work is joy when you're doing what you love. Work is not slavery. You see people who won't stop working. They get to retirement and they don't stop working. Why? Because it's not about, we're the only species that retires. There's no other creature in the earth that has retired. They keep on keeping on until they can't keep on anymore. And so you retire from a job, but don't retire from life. You got work to do. And as you feel that sense of work to do, you will make long-term plan and stop going for immediate gratification for everything. Yes, you should enjoy your life. But don't put all your chips in one place and then you lose them all. And you do like the prodigal son, you trek back. At least he trekked back to the father and say, well, I want to be a servant. But you don't have to do it that way. So you have to look at your need for instant gratification and see when it's not appropriate to go in that direction. Negative thinking and doubts are things that get us in the wrong track. And so you see Ernest Holmes' work when he says, don't limit your view of life by any past experience. Don't get so negative that every time you get into a conversation, you bring up what happened to you in the past that was bad. This is the time to stay in the moment and look for the possibilities. Look for the new possibilities. Say, I've learned this. Let me go forward from here. Not just harping on, gee, when I was 17, this happened. When I was 25, this happened. When I was 35, that happened. All kinds of things have happened. They didn't happen for you to be down. They happened for you to learn and to free yourself and to be a wise person as you move into the different phases of your life. The beginning of life, the middle of your life, and the last phase of your life. And it's not sad when it gets to the last phase of your life. You're still alive. You're still wonderfully alive. Live like it. And it will be just as good as any other period of your life. Procrastination. None of you is probably guilty of procrastination, yes? No? Okay, so a couple of you might be. It is truly the thief of time. And don't go around with people who say, time is just something of the imagination, it doesn't exist. Time is all you have. Make use of it. Each day has 24 hours for the person who is wildly successful and the person who is depressingly failing. Same amount of hours. But when the hours are gone, they are gone. And don't worry about whether you're going to go into eternity and then... listen, God gave you this period. There can be a lot of theology about the next period. They may or may not be right. And I'm not going to stand here and tell you that, live for eternity. God thought it important enough for you to live for now. You should too, shouldn't you? And when it is said in the Hebrew Bible that God you're made in God's image and likeness, it means you can create like God, the life that you want to live. You're not creating everybody's life, you're creating your own. So think about it. What can I do with my life from here to then? I'm going to stop here because my time is up. I always have more to give you than I can give you. Just a couple other little things. That the universe, in the textbook, Ernest Holmes says, the universe never plays favorites. In other words, it's worked by principles. It's not saying, gee, you know, you're so whatever, therefore I prefer you to that person. The universe has no favorites, unless everyone is the universe's favorite. So when you come to your prayer work, realize there's nothing that is standing between you and God, but your own consciousness of accepting the good. Your prayer work is not just for you to receive, it's also for you to give. There's no law that says the law of receiving. It's the law of receiving and giving and receiving. It's a circular motion. Most people just pray to receive. I want to receive. Also pray to give. Why? Why do they say it's more blessed to give than to receive? Because you can't force receiving to happen, but you can initiate giving. And so when you work at something, work at a level at which you would like to be paid. Don't say, well, when they pay me more, I'll work better. Because if you work at a level at which you want to be paid, not only will you be promoted, but you'll also find better opportunities if they don't want to promote you. And if you already stop working, you can teach your young ones that. It's an important principle. So my friends, respect time. There's an ancient manuscript from Tibet, Buddhist Tibet, that says about those of us who procrastinate too much or too little, defer not to the evening what the morning may accomplish. Defer not to the evening what the morning may accomplish. So, life, God has created you for great success. Why? Because God is the greatest of all success. Believe it. Convince yourself that it is true. And you will find what? That truth will set you free. And I'm saying to you right now, your marching orders are to go forth. You are sent. God bless you all. Thank you. All right. So we have come to a time when we want to invite you to understand the opportunity of no receiving without giving. And I am saying this not only to you, but those listening to us on the YouTube or whatever you're listening on, that this is your opportunity to support a ministry that has a unique voice in our movement, but not a contrary voice. It's the voice of how we go from building on what Ernest Holmes has given us to moving forward. And we have the opportunity to do that here at Founders, and those of you who are looking on live stream, you have the opportunity for helping us. And without your help, it won't happen. So it's giving and receiving. So please stand and let's sing the doxology. Mother God, we bless the gift and we bless the giver, and we dedicate the gift to the truth that set us free. And so it is. You may be seated, everyone. Thank you. And Michael Paul Smith is back to knock this ball over the fence. Over the fence. You're welcome, my friend.
Looking good today. Looking good today.
Thank you.
One, two, three. People get ready, there's a train a-coming. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesel humming. You don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. People get ready, there's a train to Jordan. It's picking up passengers coast to coast. Faith is key, open the door and board them. There's hope for all among the love the most. Yeah. Yeah. There ain't no room for the hopeless sinner who would hurt all mankind just to save his soul. Have a pity on those who chases grow thinner. There's no hiding place on the kingdom's throne. No hiding place. No hiding place. People get ready, there's a train a-coming. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesel humming. You don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. Thank you, Lord. I'm getting ready. Are you ready? I'm getting ready just to get on board. I'm getting ready. Are you ready? Ready? Are you ready? Just to get on board. Board. Woo! Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Michael Paul Smith putting it down. People get ready, my friend. That train is just starting to come. Don't need nobody. Just get on board. Come on, Mike. Let's sing a little piece. Get your microphone back. Come on. Yeah, let's have a little fun. Church is a place where you're supposed to have some fun. Yeah. People get ready. There's a train a-coming. You don't need no baggage. You just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the coming. You don't need no ticket. Just thank the Lord. Wow. I'm thanking the Lord right now. Yeah. I am feeling that wonderful feeling that you feel when you feel that feeling that you feel, right? And speaking about a feeling, you all have a little piece of paper like this in your program. It says there's a little round Zen circle on it, and this is the circle that is designed by Lauren Grant, and it is for the Founders Community Outreach that is headed up by our marvelous ageless wonder. Who is that? Oh, come on. You people know it too? Alvin Turner. Lauren, stand up so people see where you are. Stand up over there. Lauren is she's a Brit. She's from England. And she was so inspired to come from England to live here for a little while, to use some of her wonderful training and talents to get our outreach off the ground. And she's doing marvelous things. And she designed this wonderful thing. And Rita, is Hector here? He's not here right now. Hector, can you imagine she's riding the train from Monrovia or somewhere like that, some foreign place in America that I don't even know. And she'd ride a train and buses and whatever and get here to Founders. And she's volunteering time every single day to work on these things in marvelous ways and making contact. And then she meets this young fellow, Hector Rita, on the train or somewhere. I don't know where. I can't tell everywhere she meets people. And she has that personality where she's just talking to him. Next thing you know, he's coming here and volunteering too. He's studying psychology, and he's a good guy. He's Hispanic, and he speaks Spanish and English, and he's coming and he's helping out with that. And so when you see Lauren, you know, you can ask her what is it that she's doing for this outreach thing. And now the other thing that I need to tell you, and I couldn't make this announcement earlier because most of you wait until the sermon starts before you get here, and I want you to start coming to church on time, but I don't want you to not come if you're not on time. You got it? I want you to make the effort to come to church on time. It's 1 hour, people, approximately hour. But anyway, you know, yeah, a little stretch hour. Is that all right? Yeah, approximately. And when we go downstairs today, we're going to celebrate our new Reverend. So please come down. Please come down. And, you know, Dan Wenzel is a remarkable person. And we are very happy that he has graduated from the School of Ministry. And he's ready to do more things, great things, other things. And you heard some of it. You know, he's doing something on Thursday. What time was the Thursday thing on Zoom? 7 o'clock. So 7 o'clock, get on Zoom and check him out, you know, and see, is he for real? And then you're going to say, yes, he's for real. So check him out. Come on, don't just think that the announcements are made just to be. And those of you who are on live streaming, you can check in and talk with our Right Reverend. He's ready for you, right? You're ready for them. The Right Reverend is ready for them. Dan Wenzel. It's all right. You know, I can tell you the disadvantage of sitting back here is that all that you can hear, we can't hear back here. The microphones don't work back here. I complain to Pat all the time, but I don't get any result. Okay, all right. No, it's not Pat's fault. It's whatever it is, but we're going to be working on it. Let's turn it in right now. You ready to pray? Are you ready to pray? And when you're ready to pray, what do? We do what Dr. Doug talked about. When you want to be recognized, just shut up. And we want to be recognized by God right now. And yes, I could do a silent prayer, but I'm not, because I'm speaking the word right now. A blessing for all of us who are here and all of us out there on live streaming. Just to recognize that we are in this universe together. And we are sisters and brothers, each one of us. And we're not here to be divided by what we believe or don't believe. We're being here to be united by the fact that we're here. We're present. We're part of this universe. And therefore part of God's wisdom. That it is exactly what the universe needs for it to be as balanced as it can be. And yes, we look around our country and we see all this commotion going on. And I'm saying, let not your heart be troubled, neither let yourself be afraid. Believe in God, believe also in yourself, in God, your God in yourself. And know that this is your challenge. This is why you're here. Because these things are here, and as Lao Tzu tells us, the bad man is a good man's job. The challenge that you complain about is the work that you have to do. And we're up to it. We can do it. We can feel it. Because there is a power greater than we are that is working through us, as Dr. Holmes tells us. And it is true. And we're accepting that in our freedom. This is part of what we are doing to keep this life in balance. And so I bless right now every cell, tissue, fiber, organ, system of your body so that it can do the work. I'm blessing your mind so it can have clarity and make right choices with its freedom. I'm blessing your consciousness, which is the feeling portion of your power, to ignite the law of action within yourself, to bring about transformation that is directed from where you are, your center, in being in this world, in being right for this world, and being right for this moment now. And I bless the fact that you're willing to let go of whatever is holding you back, recognizing that as you speak your word, you have ceded the opportunity of freedom for that mountain to be cast into the sea, and for an open future awaiting you to say, yes, yes, we will see that your intention is fulfilled. And knowing that this is all true, and knowing that we are blessing our wonderful Reverend Dan Wenzel as he makes his way in through his ministry, however he chooses, we say, thank you, Father, Mother God, for all these blessings. And together let us affirm, and so it is. Please stand for the benediction. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord let his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace, the peace that passes all understanding, and so it is.